Me and John had previously spoken about the X Factor and what needs to be changed, and just like the well-being for artists and things like that. And like, if it wasn't for the show, we'd be winning Grammys. You know, I feel like it gives a bad light on you, and if the people try to define you being on it. It's been 10 years. We write and produce our own music, and I feel I know we started there, but I feel people try to always hold you back to where you first began on the show. And I feel, you know, there's been a lot of people who've been exploited on the show, people behind the scenes, you know, different contestants have come forward and shared their stories, and, you know, more stories still need to come to light. And throughout the year, we did multiple tweets about the show and how it treated its contestants behind the scenes, and how you were seen as this thing just to generate lots of money for people. Yeah, I think me and John, we were never a novelty act. We were always serious artists, wanted to do our thing. We weren't Whitney Houston, but we always were teen singers. And now we're going to be 30 this year, and we were 17 when we first hit that stage in Glasgow. So we get the last laugh. We're still here. Yeah, still here. Not a wrinkle inside, but Simon Cowell, you know, we hope you're well and everything's going just your way, you know, even though the show has been axed. I think the thing about it is, as the years went on, the people who won the show, they didn't even bring out an album. And the thing about music shows, you want the acts who win the show to be a success. And I think that wasn't really happening in recent years. So the fact is that if you're not getting a result on a show where it's meant to be about making stars, then it's not a star show.
Grimes, that is Jedward, of course, and I'm delighted to say they join us now from Dublin. Gents, it's a real pleasure to speak to you. Thank you so much. Do you feel mixed emotions at the end of X Factor?
Well, first of all, I want to send a lot of good vibes to all the viewers on BBC. We're Jedward, and we're here to talk about the first chapter of our career, which was the X Factor.
Yes, I feel the X Factor reached its time. It was over 17 years. And I feel like people have seen through it. They know that they want better TV.
I feel like they needed to spice things up. I feel the show itself was not evolving as the years progressed, and people were tired of seeing the same story.
And now that it's been axed, I think Boris Johnson and Piers Morgan could also take that lead. I feel the world is a different place now, and certain TV shows need to reach certain criteria to be successful. And the current winners and people on the show want to be successful, but I feel like we've been here, longevity.
I feel like you got to be passionate about what you do and keep growing as a person, no matter what you do. And I feel like on the show, different contestants, they were on the show, they were good for the show, but when they came off it, they didn't have that passion, that drive to keep going.
Now, what do you think you gained from it, apart from the fact it was a big audience who saw your potential? And arguably it was the audience that ultimately made you the stars they were, because they're the people who supported you beyond the show.
Yeah, I feel like everyone, you know, you have to start somewhere. And I feel like since then we've kept growing as people. But I feel like when we were on the show, it was all new to us. We'd never done something like that before. And I feel you just got to stay loyal to your soul no matter what you do, and always know you're good enough, even though you have certain critics critiquing you, as long as you stay true to what's in your heart.
Yes, and read the contracts. Contracts are very, very important. If you're getting into the music industry, make sure you're not locked into anything that's going to affect you in your future. We're turning 30 this year. We hit the X Factor stage when we were 17, and it's crazy to think, who knows what the future's going to hold. The next Ant Death, let's do it.
We're looking at some pictures now, and it's just, I mean, it really does take us back watching. It must take you guys back. But I mean, when you think it, I mean, it's fair to say, isn't it, this was a programme that millions of people watched and they loved.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, these type of shows brought everyone together, and the fact that we could be a part of the peak of the show and have those memories, and people can look back at those memories. But I feel like, you know, we're all got to keep moving on into the future as well, and look back at them with fond memories.
But I think it's incredible that over this pandemic we've turned into the voice of reason. We've been standing up for everyone to get their vaccine. We've been taking on Piers Morgan. We've been saying how we feel.
America need us, so they need to go over there and, you know, speak to the people and let them know to get their vaccine for the future to happen.
And to anyone who's being selfish, reevaluate your situation, realize that it's different. You're putting people at risk. So just like reevaluate what you're doing and educate yourself. And listen to Joe Biden. And I feel like, you know, just stay with your family and friends. It's all you can do in life to keep moving forward. That support system is very important. And download all of Jedward's songs, because we still write our songs.
Well, Edward, that goes without saying. Let me ask you both finally then, what advice would you offer to people who are starting out, who maybe don't really know, they know they've got a talent, or they think they've got a talent, but they're prepared to kind of make that step, and they're a bit unsure whether they want to take that step, because it's a huge thing, isn't it, to put yourself up there in the public eye and face, yeah, great, maybe the bouquets, but also the brickbats too.
Just to mentally visualize what you're getting yourself into, and are you ready to take all of it? When it comes to what your message, the message is very important. About what you're going to write about, what flavor of music you're going to do. Just know all those things and how you want to go about it. And it's not just all about chart success. It's about you as a person that stands behind what you're singing about. And it's about surrounding yourself with people that share the same vision as you. And it doesn't matter how big you are, how small you are. If you start off organically and have real fame and not fake hype, and actually have real people that follow you, it's all about like just finding your own path. You just got to treat your life like a marathon, you know, take it easy and steady and keep going and putting a little bit every step of the way. And like some people are probably watching this going, what are Jedward talking about? Jedward aren't real artists. We're still here doing our thing, and we will be here in 50 years.
You surely are, John and Edward, Jedward as you are. I think America, no, it's all right, please don't. I think America can have you so long as we can keep some of you as well. Jedward, thank you both so much.
No, UK's our holy grail. We love the UK. All right, stop collaborating.
Of the talent show, which first aired in 2004 and ran its last full series in 2018.
Yeah, love it or loathe it, the X Factor's impact on music is undeniable and has launched the careers of many a superstar, including One Direction. The X Factor also brought us an Irish duo. They've got big hair, even bigger personalities, and they were brought into our front rooms. Of course, we're talking about Jedward, and we had the pleasure of catching up with them earlier on.
Celebrate good times, everyone. New TV formats. I know we started on the X Factor. It was John, Edward, and together we are Jedward, and our first audition was in Glasgow. It's the end of an era, but I feel people can look back with fond memories of when we stepped out on that stage and were iconic from the get-go. Ice, ice, baby.
We all remember that.
We do, yeah. How could you forget? Of course, you guys wouldn't be where you are today without that show. You've obviously got a lot to thank them for, don't you?
Well, we have a lot to thank, and then we also is a negative as well, because a lot of the contestants on the show never lose that stigma of the X Factor, and I feel today's entertainment industry has moved on, and you don't get as much respect from doing shows like that. Me and Edward would be winning Grammys if we didn't go on the X Factor, but it's okay. It's where our journey began, and here we are now, 10 years later, over a decade, haven't aged a day past. And Cheryl asked us, where do you see yourselves in 15 years? And we said we see ourselves being older, but as you can see, we still look pretty much the exact same. No, it has been a massive end of an era, and I feel like, you know, Simon Cowell has had his ups and downs, but today would definitely be a day where he's at home with his hot chocolate, thinking about us. He's actually in Barbados swimming with a snorkeling. We saw a shot. Yeah, he's coming up for air. But I think it's good. I think as viewers, people want to see something fresh. Some people want to see something new. And after 17 years, anything does get old and dusty, you know. So it's good that like there's going to be new life. There's going to be I think it's good that ITV are shaking it up, getting like new TV formats out there. We hopefully will be presenting like Ant and Dec in the future. That's the plan.
That's your grand plan. I mean, do you think that is what it is? That viewers have just kind of got tired of that format?
I think as viewers, it's very predictable, and I think like you can kind of tell where it's going to go with reality TV. It's about keeping it fresh, getting new concepts. I feel like they should have spiced things up a little bit more. It was more about the judges and not the contestants, and the fact that last winners haven't even brought an album. You need stars to come from these shows, and the fact that the winners haven't even had a major career, and we've had like a big career out of the whole show. It's kind of like you want your stars of the show to be stars. Well, you want the journey to continue on after the show.
I suppose that's not strictly true, is it? Because we've obviously had One Direction, we've had Little Mix, James Arthur, all that as well.
Mix. I'm talking about Louisa Johnson, the previous winners in the last 5 years. A lot of them have not brought out albums. We know One Direction are massive and Little Mix, and I think they got lucky there because the fans around the world did make them. And I think the thing about the show is that it lost the organic aspect, like people auditioning. Then it came down to people, they were scouting lots of people to be on the show who already had lots of experience. So they were going onto the show as professionals, semi-professionals, even before. And when we did it, we were just, you know, coming from Ireland. And like, I know like people sometimes like to cause novelty act and go, oh, you aren't serious artists. But like, we were always just what we were. We weren't trying to be Whitney Houston. We were just being like teen singers. We were 17. We're going to be 30 this year. We've never lost ourselves. We've done Eurovision twice. Big Brother, that was a huge stage. A lot of shows. We really said what we feel in recent years, and I think just growing from it is really, really good.
Do you think that the talent show is dead in the UK?
No, I think
the UK has so much talent, even though they don't do that good in the Eurovision. I feel like UK has a lot to offer. The UK is a great place. It's massive. And the fact that you guys are the only country in the world who are able to do what they want right now,
and the fact
says
that
a lot.
Adele, UK artists are breaking all over America. It's like a trend that, like.
And our favorite artist, Ed Sheeran, is from the UK.
Ed Sheeran paints a painting for Christmas, so that's really cool.
Lucky you.
So what actually happens next then? We've obviously got the Masked Singer and all that kind of thing on at the moment, The Voice. If it's not the X Factor, what needs to come next for folk who are at home at the moment?
Big Deal, and it's more like a game show. It's the powers in the contestants' hands where they get to pick the cash or go on to the next hand. And Simon's also talked about doing this new show called Walk the Line, which is pretty much the exact same format as our TV show, which is airing in Ireland this winter.
So it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's literally the exact same format, and but I think it's good that he is going with a new angle, and hopefully he'll be probably able to buy the format of Fox, who are making our show.
Just very, very briefly, you may not have won your Grammy, but what's next for you guys? What are you up to?
Well, what's next for us? Well, we're still making music, still making TV shows.
I was actually making a guitar video before this, and I was like, come on, hurry up, we've got to do a live link to BBC. But yeah, we're just going to keep putting ourselves out there, write a book, keep uplifting people
taking on Pierce Morgan successfully, took him down twice, getting the voice out there, taking on social issues. I feel it hits harder when it comes from us.
I think what's next is doing documentaries, presenting, doing television, and just bringing a whole new aspect to the world.
Yeah.
Well, listen, thanks very much for your time tonight. We really appreciate it. You certainly haven't lost your character over all these years, and good luck with everything going forward.
You got to come out the other end still shining.
All the viewers, Stage Epic, we love you. Scotland, yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Nobody's like